Hi, everyone. Good evening. So welcome all of you to the webinar, and let me share my screen for the topic of the day. The topic for the day would be, should you take the IELTS computer-based test or paper-based test? All right, so let's proceed with the slides one by one. So we are here, guys, today to be discussed. What is IELTS on computer? What is IELTS on paper? Then we'll talk about the differences and similarities. Then we'll see some myth busters of IELTS. And then in the end, last but not the least, pros and cons of CBT and PBT paper. So let's start with IELTS on paper. Let's see, what does it include? Paper-based IELTS. In paper-based IELTS, you will take the test in a traditional manner at a desk with question papers and answer sheets for reading, listening, writing tests in an official IELTS test center. Secondly, you'll have to write your answers in either pen or HB pencils. The speaking test will be carried out one-on-one with a certified examiner, IELTS examiner, okay? Then your results will be available after 13 calendar days from the test date. So this was all about paper-based IELTS. Let's see what are the test availabilities. So the test dates for paper-based IELTS in India are available 4 times a month, okay? 4 times a month or 48 times a year, and are generally held on Saturdays and Thursdays to provide flexibility and convenience to the test seekers. So you may need note down these dates and the days if you want to. Proceeding further with what to expect on the test day. If you take IELTS on paper, you will complete the writing, reading and listening parts on paper. You can use an HB pencil to complete your writing test and write your listening and reading answers on the answer sheet. For IELTS on paper, the writing, reading and listening tests are all completed on the same day with no breaks in between each test. So please note down this, that you will not be given any time in between for a break, okay? Then proceeding further with the last option, the speaking test is completed in a face-to-face interview with an IELTS examiner, and this can be done 1 week before or after your date of test. Okay, that is your main day. Let's see what do we have for IELTS on computer, that is also known as CBT. So why take computer delivered IELTS? The IELTS, that is International English Language Testing System, has been a paper-based English test for almost 30 years. And it was time to add more options for IELTS candidates' convenience. So let's see what are the benefits of taking IELTS on computer. You can highlight the text and take notes. Basic active features like copy paste and click and drag are also available now, okay? Word count option that counts the words for you. Less crowded test centers with various test dates. Results are available within 5 to 7 days. Okay, so these are few of the benefits of CBT, that is computer-based test. Moving on to what's new with computer delivered IELTS. So you can now highlight text and make notes. You can save some time by copying and pasting directly from your text and notes. You can also easily browse forward and backward through your questions. To help keep the track of the word count, you can use the automatic word counter for the writing test. So these are 4 of the new options which are available for CBT paper. All right, so the most significant aspect of the computer-based IELTS test is that all the 4 modules, those are listening, reading, writing, and speaking, are conducted on the very same day. Okay, this is the benefit of CBT paper, that is your computer-based test. Now let's see what are some differences between computer-based and paper-based IELTS. So we'll start with a short, table kind of form here. CBT and PBT. CBT, answer sheet and pencil provided only for making notes. So there is no pencil provided for anything else. Whereas for PBT, answer sheet and pencil provided for writing the answers, because definitely you have to write your answers on the paper. Must type answers in the box on screen. That is for CBT. PBT must write answers on the answer sheet, definitely. Then again, CBT speaking module is held on the same day. For PBT, speaking module date differs within a week prior or after the main day. For computer-based test, extra 10 minutes are not given in listening for transferring the answers. In PBT, whereas you are given extra 10 minutes in listening for transferring the answers because you're writing on the paper and you'll be given an answer sheet as well. Then again, CBT paper-based IELTS examinations are mostly held in bigger rooms. Whereas for PBT, computer-based tests are usually done in custom tailored and smaller rooms. Okay. So after looking at the differences, let's see what do we have for similarities. Okay. So similarities are like paper-based IELTS examination. The computer-based version begins with listening, followed by the reading and writing. So this is same for both the categories of the paper, that is PBT and CBT. Then everybody appearing for IELTS on computer as well as paper-based will get their machine, a high-quality display unit, headphones for taking the listening section, and a brand new room for testing. Okay, so these are few of the similarities of both the categories. Now moving on to myth busters about IELTS. So let's see what are the few, myths related to IELTS. So first one is the test format is different for paper-based IELTS and computer-delivered IELTS. So many of the candidates do believe this, which is not true. The format remains the same. Moving on to another one. Second myth is all 4 sections of IELTS can be completed on computer. That is wrong. Okay, you will read more about it when we'll go into the detail of CBT. Then myth, third one, IELTS on computer is easier than paper-based IELTS. So this is again not true. Okay, the difficulty level remains the same for both the paper. Now myth number 4, you can take the IELTS on computer anywhere or anytime. No, that is not true. So you have to look for the dates and for days. Okay, dates and days both, and see which one suits you. Then myth number 5 is listening and reading sections in IELTS on computer will have MCQs. So that is again, not true. Sixth myth is the result for IELTS on computer comes together with paper-based IELTS. So again, not true. Seventh myth, candidates need to bring their own system for IELTS on computer. Definitely not. You will be provided with a, with entire system, with the entire computer to do your exam. So no need to bring your computer from home. Okay. All right. Coming to the 8th one. 8th myth is paper-based IELTS is cheaper than computer-delivered IELTS. So again, that is not true. Moving on to facts about, both the papers. So facts are only 2 minutes given after listening test to check your answers. Okay. That is for CBT, computer-based. And for PBT, you are given 10 minutes extra. Then second fact is computer screen ends as soon as the time is up. This is a fact, definitely. It happens. Third fact is all answers are on auto save, so no need to save or submit. Okay, everything is auto save in CBT. Question types are same in paper and computer-based IELTS. So the question types remain the same. There is no difference in the questions. All right. Moving on to the advantages, that is pros, and disadvantages, that is cons of computer-based test. So let's see, starting with the advantages of computer-based IELTS. Smaller rooms or venues with lesser aspirants, enabling better concentration and lower stress. Okay, so this is first advantage of CBT paper. Results are obtained more quickly within 5 to 7 days. So if you're aware about the CBT paper, you must be knowing about this pointer. 5 to 7 days, within that, you get your results. The word count is visible on the screen for writing section. So that is also true. There is a timer on the screen which will turn red when the candidate has 10 and 5 minutes remaining for the reading, writing tests respectively. Okay. Next point, the candidate will not have to worry about handwriting quality. So that is like a boon for candidates who do not have, very good quality handwriting. So the candidate can highlight the text with a right click in the reading and listening tests. So this is another option which is available in CBT. The screen will have a navigation bar where the candidate can view the progress at the bottom and take answers that they have missed out. Okay. The candidate can review their answers anytime within the overall time limit. The candidate can manage their time and go forward and backward as per their wishes. So you can always go backward and forward in your CBT test. Okay. Their answers will be automatically saved, meaning they need not keep saving or pressing enter. They can change their answer anytime without any hassles. So you have the opportunity of, changing the answers anytime in between your CBT paper. Then disadvantages of computer-based IELTS. Let's see what are the disadvantages. Using the screen for 3 hours may be stressful, especially people with weaker eyesight. So do have a look at that point. The candidate cannot draw right in the writing section, which may impede some people. Okay. Then the candidate will not have any extra 10 minutes for transferring their answers after the listening test, like in paper-based format. So till now, we are already aware of this pointer. Next point, however, they will get more time in between sections and 2 minutes at the very end. The candidate will have to click and drag or type answers directly while listening to every portion, which may be challenging. Okay, so this pointer can be challenging for few of the candidates. The candidate may not be used to, typing the answers, which may eventually slow their progress. So definitely, I would personally suggest candidates who want to go for CBT computer-based test that you check your typing speed and then go for this option. Okay. Next pointer, not many opportunities are available for practicing the test on computer. We already know that. We have more options for PBT paper. The candidate will require basic computer knowledge, as I said, including scrolling, clicking, navigation, clearing, highlighting, copying, pasting, and dragging and typing. Okay, so you should be aware of these basic, basic computer knowledge before, applying for your CBT paper. Last but not the least, being unfamiliar with computer operations can waste a candidate's time. Very important. They may use the tab for jumping to the next question without continually using the mouse. So do be aware of the basic, features of computer and do be aware of the basic knowledge of it. All right. Coming to the pros and cons of paper-based test now. So let's start again with the advantages of paper-based test IELTS. Students can quickly circle, underline, and practice words before writing them on the answer sheet. Okay, so this is the first and major advantage of paper-based test. The candidate need not possess so many basic computer skills and can entirely focus on the task at hand. The candidate need not be used to typing answers, which will not slow down their speed because definitely you're writing on the paper. Okay. So the candidate will get an extra 10 minutes at the end of the listening section for transferring their solutions to the answer sheet. This is often a boon for several students, which is not there in CBT paper. Okay. Now, moving on to disadvantages of paper-based IELTS. The candidate must count words while writing. Okay, so this is one of the demerits of paper-based test. Secondly, the candidate cannot track progress, and editing, changing answers is more complicated because you're doing it on paper, and especially if you're writing it with a pen, then it becomes more difficult. So try to use in HB pencil to write your answers for all the 3 modules: reading, listening, and writing. Thirdly, the candidate will face issues if the handwriting is not clear. That's correct. So you need to have a better handwriting to be understood by the examiner so that he can correct your work correctly. All right, coming to the last but not the least demerit of PBT paper. Transferring answers into the answer box is a process that comes with risks. So especially when you're transferring your answers from your question paper to the answer sheet, especially in listening, even in reading, then you have to make sure that you're writing the correct answer. Okay. All right, so with that, we come to the end of the slides and the video. So if you want to know more about, more details related to IELTS, then you may write to us on the comment section of our pages. So we'll help you out from there. So now we have some time for Q&A. So you may write your queries, you may write your questions in the Q&A section. And yes, I'll answer them one by one. So if you have any doubts, guys, you may write it here. I hope that video was informative and will be useful for you. So with that, we end the video, and I'll see you in the next video. All right. Thank you so much for your time, all of you. Take care.